President Trump's recent talks with Vladimir Putin exposed the Russian president's main concern. One America's Kristian Rouz explains.
The past Trump-Putin summit is sending shockwaves across domestic politics in the US, with the mainstream media appearing to deliberately misinterpret the Trumpian diplomacy as weakness in the face of Russian President Vladimir Putin. But one man says Putin is caught in the crossfire of President Trump's unconventional diplomacy. The name is Bill Browder, a British financier who believes the Russian people could enjoy better relations with the US.
US policy towards Russia is actually quite tough. The sanctions are tough. The US is supplying military equipment to Ukraine, which is tough, and various other things. And so it's all very confusing. It's not clear what Trump could actually do.
During the Helsinki summit, Putin went as far as offering an exchange of his alleged 12 intelligence operatives for Browder.
So we have a solid reason to believe that some intelligence officers accompanied and guided these transactions. So we have an interest of questioning them. But that could be a first step, and we can also extend it.
Browder had business affairs in Russia between the 1990s and mid-2000s with his company Hermitage Capital Management, and at one point ran into a tax dispute. The British financier hired a Russian lawyer, Sergei Magnitsky, who found the Kremlin had collected $230 million in taxes from Hermitage, but this money never went to the Russian budget, but ended up in offshore accounts of top Russian officials. After the investigation was made public, Browder was kicked out of Russia, and Magnitsky was arrested and put in prison, where he died of medical neglect.
Putin feels personally exposed and potentially at risk of having his assets seized in the West.
But during the Helsinki summit, Putin accused Browder of stealing billions from the Russian budget and donating $400 million to the 2016 Hillary Clinton campaign, knowing this message would fly well with the American public, tired of corruption amid the establishment in D.C. However, Browder never held fiscal office in Russia, allowing him access to that country's budget, and Browder is a British citizen and can't donate to a US campaign. Meantime, Browder and his anti-corruption campaign have been quite supportive of the Trump administration.
I know a lot of other politicians in European countries that agree with me and agree with Trump that Germany shouldn't be becoming more reliant on Russian gas. Is not a good idea. Trump was right to point it out.
This past April, the US Treasury enacted its sanctions against corrupt Russian officials and oligarchs, specifically targeting the money of the Kremlin.
We came out with a report earlier on that had a confidential access, a classified annex to it, and we said we'd come out with sanctions. This is what we've done.
The several hundred people forming the backbone of Russia's political governance are known to keep their children and wives all proud US citizens, as well as bank accounts, properties and businesses in the US, along with the UK and Switzerland. These are all supported with money alleviated from Russia through jurisdictions such as Cyprus, the Virgin Islands and the Bahamas.
We've been very busy at Treasury working on these sanctions, and these are targeted at oligarchs and government officials, very specifically targeting certain behaviors.
This corruption culminated in donations and high-profile lobbyism under the Obama administration, epitomized by the controversial Uranium One deal, in which then State Secretary Hillary Clinton allegedly played a crucial role.
I will say this, there is collusion, but it's really with the Democrats and the Russians, far more than it is with the Republicans and the Russians. So the witch hunt continues.
This Democrat-Russian collusion might as well be an unholy union, blessed by the multi-billion corruption exposed by the likes of Bill Browder. Kristian Rouz, One American News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.